Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, we want to thank all of our fans, our sponsors, our patrons. We appreciate all of your guys' support. Everyone that's bought us a cup of coffee, been greatly appreciated. We've had a rough couple of weeks here in the family, been out of work for a week and a half, coming up on 2 weeks thanks to our old friend COVID running through us. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time with the usual spiel, so all of you guys that are interested in what's going on with Sin City Living and what we plan on doing in the future with our live streams and upcoming events, please stick around to the end of the video or skip to the end of the video and watch. I will put most of that stuff in the ending spiel, and I will try and update it every week or two with more news. Otherwise, that being said, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into today's video. Today's episode, and for today we're going to go over things that you should not do as a player, the never no-nos. So I'm going to start out with the first two that are not just things you should not do, they're things that you cannot do. Number one, let's say you have a pass line bet and a point gets marked. What you cannot do is take your bet back. You cannot take your bet down. That is a no-no. That is considered cheating. And cheating is actually a crime in Las Vegas. Not likely to get prosecuted for it, especially since it's oftentimes an honest mistake. What I see it most often is with somebody that, a new player that keeps adding to their pass line bet. Now somebody shows them odds. We have a point and they decide they want to do odds. You cannot do that. That is cheating. You cannot take your pass line bet down. Little known thing is that you can't add to your pass line bet, called a put bet, but you cannot take your pass line bet down. That is cheating. What else can you not do? You cannot, once there's a point, come on to the don't pass. That is also cheating. Not allowed. Big no-no. Along with that is adding to your don't pass. That's why as dealers we absolutely hate when somebody does this, especially when we've been trying to convert them to green and they still do this big tower of red. Reason for that, we get suspicious when we see that because it makes us wonder if the player is trying to add to their bet when we're not looking, when we're doing another payout or talking to another player, because players are always reaching down around their bets. Maybe they're throwing more money in for a different bet or doing a lay, and we have to sit there and try and read that huge tower to read how much is on there so that we can double check that later on. You cannot add to your bet. It's called post-pasting or pass posting. It's called pass posting, post-pasting. It's called pass posting. It is cheating. Not allowed. Technically a crime here in Las Vegas. Okay. Now, what about things that you just shouldn't do? Things that you just should not do. Okay, here's one of them. If you have a bet, let's say you want to do place bets. Let's say you decide that you want to do 26 across. What you should do is you should put your bet out in the come, put your money out in the come and say, I'd like 26 across. What you should not do is, let me get 26 across. Guys, this isn't a poker game. Don't throw your chips. We don't throw your payouts to you. Don't throw your chips at us. This isn't a poker game. If you do this, we're likely to stack it all up, set up your bet the first time. Second time, we're going to warn you, like, dude, just stack your money up right here in the come. Don't throw your chips out. Don't splash your chips. This isn't a poker game. If you continue to do it, what's likely to happen the next time you splash your chips is I'm likely to do this and go take care of another player. Take care of the players that are placing their money out properly and deal with you last. I'm still going to take care of your bets. You still have every right to bet. And you still have every right to bet on the numbers that you want to bet on. Now, I'm not saying that a boxman might not get a little bit tired of that and tell you and warn you and eventually not allow you to bet anymore and make you leave the table. But as long as you're at the table and you're paying, you have every right to bet on any numbers you want to bet. But again, this is not a poker game. Don't go splashing your checks. Don't go throwing your chips out there. Also, if you continue to do it where there is other bets or other money, which is why it becomes a problem, you're likely to have some of your money get lost. You throw it into where everyone else is throwing. I mean, if you do that and then someone else does this and someone else does that, we're going to put together the bets as best we can. If you go, no, I had 26 there. Sir, we don't see 26 anywhere. We've set up these other bets. We only have 21 left over. Well, no, I threw 26 in there. We're probably, don't get me wrong, we're probably going to give it to you. The box is probably going to say, okay, go ahead and set it up, but then give you the warning of do not throw your chips again. Next time you throw your chips, you're going to get a no bet. And eventually we're just going to tell the player to leave. Tell them to have a nice day. All right, so you don't throw your chips. Again, this is not a poker game. You don't look cool when you do that. Don't late bet, especially center action bets. You want to place your bet while the dice are right here in the middle of the table. As soon as the dice move out to the player, as soon as they're no longer in the middle of the table, the box person is no longer allowed to look at anything except the dice. While they're right here, they're secure. They're in front of the, I'm sorry, not the box, the stick. They're in front of the box is securing these dice. Once the dice move away, the stick person cannot turn away from the dice. They must keep their eyes on the dice at all times until they secure them back into the center. Dice is the most important thing. So if you have a late bet that you throw in, let me get a horn high yo. They have to book your bet. Both dealers, the base dealer and the stick person, have to book your bet, but they cannot touch it. They cannot set it up. If it wins, we're going to set it up or we're going to pay you. And we're also going to tell you to please get your bets in while the dice are in the middle. Because if this happens a lot, it starts to look suspicious to the cameras of why this person's throwing money out, it's not set up, but then we set it up onto whatever number just won and paying them. That's actually happened. It has actually happened where crews were in collusion, cheating with a player, and all of them ended up getting arrested, of course, but and it dealt with late bets and not getting them set up. The dealer cannot turn away from the dice to set up your bet. So if you continuously do this, eventually they're just going to no bet you because it's too dangerous for the dealer to continue doing this. We like our jobs. Along with that, those people that sit there and hold their chips in their hand, leaning on the rail, waiting until the dice move out so that then they can dart in their field bet real fast, that is extraordinarily rude to the shooter. And most of the players on the table are going to absolutely despise the person that does this. And when we notice that's happening, we start telling them, hey, now's a good time to place your bet while the dice are in the middle. We say, hey, you want to make your bet? We'll even tap the field with the stick in front of them. We're kind of calling them out in front of everybody else, but we're trying to tell them, hey, make your bet now. But for some reason, some players think that either they look cool or it's the proper way to bet, or they're so superstitious that they feel they need to dart it in right before the player releases the dice. Incredibly rude to the shooter, incredibly rude to every other player. And it's getting borderline. If the dice are landing and someone's doing that, there's a strong possibility that we're going to no bet them. Yes, it's a player controlled bet, but we need to be very, 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 very careful with people that are doing late bets, because again, there's a lot of danger points behind that. Don't toss your money back here. Don't toss your money back here where my stacks of money are. Place your bets again out here in the come. This is again back here where all of my working stacks are. This is the dealer's working area. So again, you throw your money back here, there's a chance that it could get lost. Okay? We do this for a living, but we also do this a lot for a lot of people very fast, and we can get sloppy. I know some very sloppy dealers, but we can also just have a bad moment or hand slip, and we can knock over a stack of chips. If you're throwing your money in the back and then you throw 4 reds in the back but because you wanted to bet the outside or something like that, and then we knock over our stack of red, now we got a problem. Did this player actually throw it in or not? Again, we're likely to give it to you once. After that, ain't happening. So again, put your bet out into the come where it's clear, secure, safe from everybody else's bets, safe from any mistakes that we might make or any messes that we might make. And finally, another big no-no. Don't try and set your bets up yourself. Don't reach across the table. Actually, let me go around to the other side. Don't reach across the table and go $10 9. Do not do that. Again, put your bets in the come. Tell us what you want. Don't go, I want a 9, I want a 5, and I want a 10. No. You really shouldn't go 5, 9, 10 like that either. Just stack it up, tell us what numbers you want. But put it out here. Do not reach back here. This area, what we tell the players, this by the way, that is something that will get you very stern warnings from the box after we've warned you once and you continue doing it. And this is something that can get you kicked off the table relatively quickly. This area is considered, what we tell players is, consider this area a cash register. This is our working area. This is our cash register. There is a lot of bets in here that are other people's money. You do not reach into that area. We control this area. There's a lot of money in this area most of the time. Again, it's a dealer's cash register. If you're at the store and you're paying for your food, when you're paying for your groceries, you don't reach into the register and put your money down, right? You put it on the counter in front of you. Put your bets on the counter in front of you. Don't reach into this area. This is basically the dealer's cash register. You keep your hands out of it. That will get you booted off the table if you continue to do it. So never, ever, ever, ever reach into this area. Very, 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 very big no-no. Okay, another one. I thought I had the final one, but another one. Oftentimes we've got a lot of stuff going on in here. Lot. Lots of bets, you know. There'll be just bets everywhere. All kinds of bets, and sometimes stacked up. Arc your dice over the center. When you throw them flat and they splash through here, it gets very, very irritating to the dealers. When you start messing up people's bets, and now we have to try and reconstruct when we may have sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60 chips in there. Now we have to reconstruct it because you shot the dice through there instead of arcing the dice over in order to get to the back wall. But you should go shooting through there, and that, again, you're going to get a warning from the box if you do it more than once. You got to do your best to stay out of that area. Just arc the dice over. You don't have to splash the dice right through there. Big no-no. Don't do that. On the subject of throwing dice, by the way, for some reason it's become like a cool thing or some superstitious thing or something to throw the dice into the corner of the table, which is fine. You can throw the dice wherever you like, but the box and the dealer, the stick, is likely to tell you, hey, straight down the center. Throw them down the center. Because same thing with splashing all the bets in there. Don't splash, don't throw the dice and just annihilate all the bets in here, everybody's bets in there. For a couple reasons. One, you're going to slow the game down. Because now we have to, before we pay anything, we're going to sit there and reconstruct all the bets. And if it takes us a second because we can't even figure it out because you just turned everything into a huge mess, it's going to take even longer before we get around to paying out the bets, much less moving the dice so you get to shoot again. And shooters are like, oh, give me the dice, give me the dice, give me the dice. You're freezing the dice, you're icing the shooter. No, you iced yourself by doing that. So do your best to throw them straight down the middle. The other side to it is that, again, this is the dealer's working area. We do our best to keep our hands out of the way. We do our best not to be reaching in here. When the dice are out, we try and keep our hands back here. But if you have the dice and I want to sit here setting up bets because somebody made a bet and I didn't have time to set it up, and you throw the dice through here and it hits my arm, don't get mad. You shouldn't have thrown the dice through here. You should have thrown them straight down the center of the table, because not only is this the dealer's cash register, this is our working area. As one of the dealers I work with once said, when somebody just missed their hands with the dice when they threw it, the player started yelling, "Get your hands out of the way!" And the dealer looked at him and went, "This is my working area. I can get up here and tap dance while you're throwing the dice, and it's none of your business. Throw them down the center and you won't have a problem." So keep your dice out of the chips as best you can. These are big no-nos. Don't mess up the bets, because again, you're just going to slow yourself down here for the shooter. Don't do that. Why would you want to do that? Throw them down the center. That way it won't slow yourself down. Definitely don't splash them through the center action. Throw them down the middle. Hit the back wall. Stay away from these bets. Don't reach into this area if you're a player. Don't throw your chips. There you go. A lot of things that players should not do. We don't see these, I won't say we don't see these too often, because we see these every frickin' night, but not from most players. I'd say the throwing your chips thing is probably half the players, honestly. Splashing bets with the dice, probably 1 in 30 shooters. Enough that we see it at least once a night, if not 2 or 3 times a night. Trying to take down pass line bets or pass posts on the don't pass. We might see that maybe once a night, and again, it's players that don't really know how to play. We educate them. We're friendly about it. We're trying to teach them, coach them. We don't think people are trying to do it maliciously. throwing money back into the bankroll, reaching into here. We see that every night too. But again, maybe 1 in 20 people. There's nothing too crazy, but often enough that we're seeing it pretty much every roll. At least one person on the table is doing this kind of stuff. So again, just things to avoid. Hope you guys find this illuminating or at least interesting. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye now.
Okay, everybody, and as promised, all the usual blah blah that I try and do at the beginning of the video, we're going to go ahead and put near the end of the video. And here we go. So thank you, everybody, for your usual patronage. All of you that are patrons of ours, we very, very much appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who's been buying us a cup of coffee. Love to say it's going to coffee right now, but this month with the entire family out for COVID, it's honestly going to Bill's and probably the kid's birthday in a week. But we definitely appreciate it. We're going to continue working on these live streams. I know you guys have seen some of them popping up. Just got to figure out the look of it, and some of the audio is still giving me issues. But hopefully we'll be getting those live streams and the craps tournaments going as soon as possible. Really just going to depend on scheduling. My schedule changed, Amy's schedule changed, kids' school schedule is fun. So once we figure out exactly how all those schedules are going to work, we'll let everybody know. And otherwise, please continue emailing us with anything you would like to see videoed. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.